Oh, I'm Bob Lutz, Vice Chairman, General Motors for Product Development.
Bob, tell me about what took you guys so long to get to the hybrid market? Because you did have hybrids in buses.
Yeah, we had hybrids, and in fact, General Motors has had hybrid technology ever since 1968. I can show you a book called Parade for Progress, which was done in 1968, which shows GM hybrids. What took us so long is that we looked at it from a business standpoint, and we said, this is going to be very expensive. The early hybrid systems are going to cost a ton of money. We won't recover it from the market, and therefore we can't take this to our board of directors. And it was decided not to do it. Toyota took the opposite approach. They said, well, yes, we'll lose money on this, but it's going to be a tremendous image and environmental play. And as we look back, they were right. We spend $3 billion a year on advertising in the United States, and we don't get anywhere in terms of image benefit. We don't get a tenth of what Toyota got on whatever small amount of money that they lost on the hybrids. So, that was I would say, a tactical and possibly even strategic mistake, because if we had gone when we wanted to go, we would have beaten Toyota to the market with a hybrid.
Gas prices are coming down again, and people are starting to talk now about the fact that hybrids might be losing their luxury stand.
I don't think they'll lose their luster no matter what gasoline prices are, because I think people are conscious of the environmental impact. And even at $2 a gallon, even if it goes to $1.80 a gallon again, I think the American public is permanently sensitized now to the volatility in gasoline prices. And they say, well, it could be $1.80 now, but who knows, next year it could be $2.80 or $3.80. So I think there's a bone-deep awareness in the American public now that $1.20 a gallon gasoline, when the rest of the world is paying $5 and $6, is not some God-given right because the maker decided to bestow cheap gasoline on the American public.
You've got a two-mode hybrid that you're supposed to be coming out with. Are you still going to be as forceful with the two-mode, even though the gas prices are coming down?
Absolutely. We will produce as many as the market wants, but we will have it available in the Tahoe, the Yukon, the Escalade, so any of our large full-size sport utilities. And because that system is scalable, it is capable of going into our very largest trucks, which then would go from about 21, 22 miles per gallon to about 25 and a half, 26. And since those are the vehicles that some Americans really need, saving that amount of fuel on those big things actually is more beneficial to the environment and to petroleum reserves than saving the same percentage on a small vehicle that doesn't use very much anyway.
GM's always been known inside of the industry as having great technology, but being late to the market with it. You now have a hydrogen vehicle that you're coming out with. How strongly are you going to bring that out?
Well, what we're doing today and with our 100 Equinox demonstration fleet is to show that our technical problems are solved. We've got it reliable. We've got the fuel cell system to where it will fit in a regular vehicle, and it drives like any other car except much smoother. So we are very much determined this time, and Rick Wagner has said in a meeting the other day, we are going to become the global fuel economy leader, the global technology leader, and the global styling leader. And I know it's a very forceful, spontaneous talk. Larry and I will be...
That's Larry Burns.
Larry Burns, yeah, Dr. Burns and I will, in an upcoming meeting, be discussing with our colleagues the possibility or our very strong desire to make a major investment in actual production electric/fuel cell vehicle technology. Because we think the time is ripe. The technology to us seems production ready, and we see no reason why we shouldn't do it, except that we're a little bit disappointed that federal and state governments have not done more to respond to our plea to get some sort of hydrogen infrastructure going. And Other than California, which has done a little something, but the federal government is providing no help whatsoever.
You're probably part of the 60% that believes that Congress isn't doing everything they can in America right now?
Well, I don't know. I think everybody's preoccupied with the war, and there are other agenda items, and I mean, I think it's fair to say that the oil industry has a lot of influence with the current administration, but so we're not seeing anything in this country. Now, would that stop us? The answer is no, because every time we go to China and talk to Chinese officials, they say, hey, we're ready to put the infrastructure in, we're building the nuclear power plants, we can produce all of the hydrogen electrically that anybody needs, we want fuel cell vehicles as quickly as possible. So it may not happen in the United States. It could be that our target of producing 1 million units of hydrogen fuel cell vehicles sometime between 2010 and 2020, that dream may be realized in China before it's realized in the United States.
You know, you bring up a good point, because globally you are thought the world of. China loves Buick. Brazil, you practically brought back the ethanol ability in Brazil with the flex fuel vehicle.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now with the USA? Because that's your biggest tackle.
Well, you know, the only infrastructure that's really in place other than gasoline stations in the U.S. is, because even E85, we wish that would roll out a lot faster. But the only infrastructure that's really in place is, besides oil, is electricity distribution. So that tells you if you really want to go for an alternate vehicle, and now that battery technology is so much better, you know, perhaps we are, let me put it this way, as a technology group, we are very interested in the plug-in hybrid technology.
One last question. I believe you're still 73 years old.
No, 74 and a half.
70. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
So, unfortunately, it doesn't stop.
But you've been known in the last 3 or 4 years as the person that's going to turn GM around on its product. How much longer are you going to be with them?
In the first place, it is turning around. And Rick Wagner asked me the same question. And I said, he said, are you going to stick around for a few years? And I said, well, you know, it's starting to be fun. It's starting to feel like Chrysler in 1990, just before the whole thing turned around and got going. And as Chris Proust, my colleague here, was saying this morning, it's now gotten to be fun to come to work because of the can-do attitude, the sentiment that we're winning and so forth. Morale is very high. We see ourselves as emerging from this decades-long slumber and the company finally becoming what it used to be, which is a tough, technology-oriented, highly skilled competitor. So as long as it's this, as long as working is more fun than retirement, which, believe me, to me it is, I'll keep going. I mean, someday, like when I'm, first of all, my dad went to the office until he was 91, 92. And maybe my fate is that, you know, in the morning the cleaning lady comes in and finds me slumped over the desk at age 95. So.
With another product in hand.
Yeah.
Bob Lutz, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.